Hello, beautiful people. I'm DJ, and welcome back to my channel. So, I've been gone for about 3 months. I am sorry for that. I missed this, I missed talking to you guys, but I'm back. And I'm back with a tag video by Scott and Nell from over Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, officially the best makers of the best tags, and I'm going to be doing their original tag, which is called ratings and review tag. So the first question or first prompt is to tag folks. So I am going to tag Freddy from Sluggish Reader and read Becca because I would like to know their opinion about these questions, and also I would like to tag Kate from Pages and Prose because I think she also has been missing from booktube probably for last 3 months, just like I was. So I kind of want to encourage her to come back to YouTube booktube as well. Cheers, I'm drinking some tea, just some black tea. Okay, the second question, or the first actual question, is how do you know you've just finished a good book? Is it a feeling or a thinking response? Such a cool question, right? So, my answer to this question is I have finished the book, haven't I? As long as I finish book, I think it is a good book. So there is not really, I don't know, not many books that I hate or I don't like that I finish. I'm a moody reader, and if I don't like a book, I kind of tend to leave it in the middle, put it down, and DNF it most of the times. So if I have finished a book, then it's probably going to be a good book, and it is a feeling response. At least immediately after finishing a book, I feel good if I like a book, and later on I think about it. Third question is, when do you begin to form your rating or review? What is the first question you ask yourself? For this, I have a question that I ask myself is, what in this book can I relate to? Relatability is a good criteria for me to form my rating or review for a book, even if I don't have a first hand experience of the thing that is mentioned in the book. If I can relate, or if I can empathize, or if I can somehow like think of something that I can understand from this, the story, something rings the bell, I generally review or rate the book higher. So the fourth question is, do you do star ratings? If yes, why? If no, why? So for this question, I am quite random when I finish a book. If I have a very strong good opinion about a book or a strong bad opinion about a book, and if I want to give a book a 5 star or a 1 star, then I will rate a book, rate a book immediately after reading it. Otherwise, I'm still processing, and I tend to give books kind of 4 stars or 3 stars if I don't really keep thinking about a book for a long time. I don't really strictly adhere to like a star rating system, but I do that sometimes. And the second part of the question is your rating consistent? No, like I from my answer to the earlier question, it's quite arbitrary. They are not consistent. Sometimes my rated 4 books could be better than rated 5-star books. So yeah. The second, the fifth question is, do you believe every book has its perfect reader, and does this contradict the idea that a book can be bad? So when I think a book is bad, it's generally very subjective. It is bad because I think it is bad. and it can have so many reasons for it being bad. I have so many reasons that could make me feel like a book is bad. Maybe it's just the uh, mood that I'm in. I'm a moody reader, so uh, that makes me think the book is bad. And on the flip side, I think many other people can have millions of reasons for finding the book good. Technically, sometimes some books are kind of like majority of people might find them bad, but not all of them. Maybe at some point somebody can gain something from it, somebody can gain enjoyment from a book. So inherently, I don't think a book is bad. Any book is like really really bad, unless it's very badly copied or plagiarized thing. So yeah, I think there is a perfect reader for almost all books. Yeah, question number 6. What book that you have hated that you've recommended? I tried to find such books that I have hated, but I still recommended them. I don't know why. Why? Like I just can't look at books objectively enough to find merits in them most of the times, so that I can recommend those books on basis of those merits objectively. I just look at them very subjectively, and I hate them because I hate them, and I wouldn't wish it on other people. It sounds very mean, but I don't recommend books that I hate. I can't find any books like that. Question number 7 is, what makes a book good, bad, or great? A good book makes me nod along. I can relate to it. I agree to the ideas, what the author is saying, and it makes me think about some ideas, some interesting new concepts. I could learn something from a book. A bad book, I think, is for me a book that is kind of deceptive. Maybe it presents to have some kind of values, some value, originality, or something, some value on surface, but it's kind of a deceptive facade, and it actually doesn't deliver on that promise. I mean, it kind of raises your expectations. Maybe it fools some people and successfully fools people to create a hype, and then disappoints me. That's a bad book. I think it's a very weird way to describe a bad book, but I could think of something like that when I tried to picture a bad book, a typical bad book in my mind. And other bad books are just books that are too boring, lengthy, and nothing interesting happens, or they fail to grab my attention, which is kind of difficult to do anyway, because I have a very short attention span, at least these days. I don't know, I can't blame the book if I have the problem of not having a good attention span, but subjectively I feel like that makes a book bad if it doesn't hold my attention. And what else? A great book. I think a great book is a book that manages to move me in some way. Maybe change my perception about things. Surprise me pleasantly. Blows my mind. That's, I think, how I can describe a great book. Okay, so the next question is, when evaluating the quality of a book, do you have specific criteria or aspects of the book, such as character development, that you consider? Does this change if you are writing an in-depth review versus just thinking about the book for enjoyment? So I don't really think I'm qualified enough to write an in-depth review. I generally think of the books in terms of just enjoyment. So I can only talk from that point of view, and I do think that character development is a good criteria uh, when evaluating a book's quality, because I think if a character has been done justice in a book, in a way, or some kind of arc that is satisfying, I generally tend to like the book. Then, if there is some kind of intrigue in the book that is resolved later on, or if there are layers to a book, it's not just open and shut, or just making you wait for a long time and like only give you a payoff if you endured through the book or something like that. I like when you can peel back layers of a book, kind of has multiple layers, and you kind of get some sort of treat, reward, something after a few pages, after all, like every few pages. Does that make sense? I don't know. So that is my criteria for evaluating books. Okay, the question number 9 is, do you consider star rating or average ratings when choosing books to read or adding to your TBR? I do look at them, but they are not a huge thing for me. I tend to look at the synopsis more, or if the book has been mentioned somewhere in some context that I'm interested in. I don't even look at the full synopsis because I don't want to be spoiled. I don't want to create some sort of unrealistic expectation and later on get disappointed by the book. That's why I feel like I tend to not really pay too much attention to the ratings, and sometimes deliberately avoid the review as well when deciding to read a book, or when deciding what to add to my TBR. I these days I'm adding books to my TBR from the authors that I have read and enjoyed, a different book from the same authors, and that's a good kind of criteria to filter down books. Who on BookTube does reliable and interesting reviews of books that you know you can use to decide if a book is for you or not? What makes their reviews so good? So I'm not somebody who understands a lot when I'm listening to somebody review a book before reading it, in depth reviews, or I generally tend to go and watch people whose reading taste kind of align with me. Maybe kind of like Scott. Some We have some similar reading tastes, or and I just use kind of my past experiences where I have had hits and misses from the recommendations of a particular booktuber,